Now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the incoming president of the Texas Medical Association, Dr. David Fleeger of Austin, Texas. He's a practicing colorectal surgeon and managing partner of his 8-member group practice in Central Texas, the Central Texas Colon Rectal Surgeons in Austin, Texas. He graduated from Texas A&M College of Medicine in 1985, completed his residency at the Mayo Graduate School of Medicine in Rochester, Minnesota, and is a fellow of the American College of Surgeons and the American Society of Colorectal Surgeons. During his 34 years in medicine, Dr. Fleeger has worked to protect the patient-physician relationship. He first served the TMA Young Physicians section as a delegate to the AMA. He eventually rose to become secretary and later vice chair of the TMA Board of Trustees. He is a past president of Travis County Medical Society and of the Society of Colorectal Surgeons. He served on the board of Central Texas Regional Blood and Tissue Center as chair of TMF, Health Quality Institute Board of Trustees. He also served at St. David's Medical Center as their chief of staff and on the board of trustees. Dr. Fleeger recently completed his gubernatorial appointment to the governing board of the Texas Health Services Authority to promote and coordinate health information technology throughout Texas. He's a caring physician, an avid traveler, and a great photographer. I hope you've had the opportunity to see some of his great photographs, and you'll get better communication from David, I assure you. Dr. Fleeger makes volunteer mission trips to Guatemala each year to offer primary care services in remote villages. His leadership and philanthropy has earned him St. David's First Humanitarian Award and the Travis County Medical Society's Golden Cane Award as Physician of the Year. Dr. Fleeger, please come and join me at the podium. It truly is an honor to hand this job off to David. They just don't come any better. He's going to do a fabulous job for us. Well, Dr. Fleeger, do you solemnly swear that you will carry out the duties of the office of President of the Texas Medical Association to the best of your ability? That in all your activities you will uphold the principles and the policies of the association, and that you will promote unity and cooperation among the county medical societies and the members of the association and with the Texas Medical Associations Alliance? And will you dedicate yourself in your office to accomplishing the association's primary mission, which is to improve the health care of all Texans?
I accept these duties and obligations and pledge my best efforts on behalf of our profession and the patients we serve.
Well, David, it's my distinct privilege to share the pen with you that only 154 have had before us. And I'm going to do this and not stick him because I'm not a surgeon. But I won't stick you, I promise. All right. Now, the first time you stick yourself and cause bleeding, you remember an old family doc can fix you up.
There you go. Hey. And they specifically told me to not put this on him because I think they were afraid I was going to draw blood. So,
or drop it.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug, for a job well done.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, Mr. Vice Speaker, medical students and physicians, members of the House of Delegates, my friends. Thank you and good morning. As a profession, as an association, and as an individual, we have not gotten to where we are on our own. Indeed, as Isaac Newton told us, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. My journey's been no different. I would like to take a moment to publicly thank those who have made it possible for me to serve this great association. Thank you to my friends, Thank you to my partners, my office staff who are here with me today. And thank you for the many years of support that you've given me. Special thanks to my family, without whom this journey would have little meaning. Thanks to my parents and my sisters, and most importantly, my daughter Lauren, my son-in-law Jim, and my wife and best friend of 34 years, Jamie. My parents couldn't be with us today. They just don't travel much these days, but I thought it important that I tell you a little bit about where I came from so that you'll know where I'm coming from. Photography is my hobby, so I'll be showing some of my photos today, mainly because I know my fellow surgeons have short attention spans. For obvious reasons, these first few photos aren't mine. We've all learned valuable lessons from our parents, and I'm no exception. My father was a West Point grad, as was his father before him. I was literally raised on duty, country, honor. Values that are timeless and unchanging. Values that guide the men and women of our military now, then, in the past, and in the future. My father also taught me to always leave something better than the way you found it. It wasn't until years later I found out he was just talking about the lawn. So. My mother spent many years working in the front offices of medical practices until the age of 60, when she went back to school and subsequently became a teacher at a Montessori school working with 3 to 6-year-olds, which she did for the next 15 years. It's never too late to change. Change can be good or bad, disruptive or transformational. What really matters is how we respond to the inevitability of change. Our profession is facing both external and internal change. Today, I would like to focus on that change, what it means to us, and how we can respond. As professionals, we aspire towards a body of core values that are timeless and unchanging. We aspire towards a body of core values that are centered upon an uncompromising and unconflicted regard for our patients' benefit and best interest. I repeat, we aspire towards a body of core values that are centered upon an uncompromising and unconflicted regard for our patients' benefit and best interest. Our hands bring them into this world. We guide them through illness and health. We are present at their last breath. Yet I have concerns that our medical profession is becoming a mere trade, a technical skill, a line item on a spreadsheet. There are those who would prefer that it be so, those who would prefer that we be called providers that treat clients, customers, or covered lives. But we are not, and we don't. We are physicians who treat our patients. We rose to the top of the educational system to be privileged enough to undergo one of the most vigorous educational programs in existence, to be followed by 3 to 6+ years of on-the-job training. Words matter. We deserve to be called physicians who treat our patients. We should insist on it. But in return, we must also act like professionals, always. It is because we are professionals that we do not punch a time clock in the middle of patient care. It is because we are professionals that we do not charge 3 to 4 times what our peer across the street does for the same service. It is because we are professionals that we lead, supervise, educate, and monitor the other members of the healthcare team. They don't know what we know. They can't do what we do. And it is through associations like ours that we maintain and preserve our profession. Our response to change is and must be grounded in our timeless and unchanging core values, uncompromising and unconflicted regard for our patients' benefit and best interests. Timeless and unchanging. But some things should change, inevitably will change, must change. As the percentage of female physicians increases with time, our association must adapt and provide value to this growing segment of our membership. We must do so quickly. We must stay ahead of the curve. I'm a little embarrassed to say that only a third of the physicians recommended to me for council or committee appointments were female. A little over 40% of my appointments will be female. 50% of our leadership college is females. I would ask our county and specialty societies, as well as our women physicians, to step up and make Dr. Fite's job a little easier next year. You could ask me what changes our association should make to adapt to this trend. But personally, I'd prefer to turn to the physician on my right, the physician on my left, and ask her what she thinks we should do. I call on the House of Delegates to pass the recommendations of the Reference Committee on Financial and Organizational Affairs, on Committee on Membership Report 2, and Council on Socioeconomics Report 3. I have high expectations that the Women in Medicine section will produce results that will strengthen engagement and representation of female physicians in organized medicine and bring women physicians to association membership, and even more to our leadership. I am confident that they are dedicated to our core values, uncompromising and unconflicted regard for the patient's benefit and best interests. Our response to change is and must be grounded in this timeless and unchanging core value. Historically, our TMA has been very good serving the needs of solo and small group physicians. Yet more and more physicians have chosen to become employed by large physician groups, hospitals, insurance companies, Wall Street. They too aspire to these same timeless and unchanging core values, but their needs are different from the solo and small group physicians. Our TMA must better define the employed physician's needs and how we as an organization can provide them value for their dues dollars. I will be appointing an ad hoc committee on the employed physician whose one-year mission will be to study and make recommendations to this House of Delegates on how our association can provide better value to this segment of our membership. I once again call on county and specialty societies as well as individuals to submit names of employed physicians of every type for the immediate formation of this committee. Some changes are inevitable. Our Executive Vice President, Dr. Louis J. Goodman, is beginning his retirement transition. My friend Lou has a long list of accomplishments that have been well voiced over the past few days. I echo the praise for a job well done. Personally, I think Lou's finest accomplishment has been the talent he has gathered and the culture he has created amongst our TMA staff. I've had the privilege to serve on many fine organizations, but none compares to the quality and dedication of our staff of the TMA. Men and women who understand and strive to help us stay dedicated to our timeless and unchanging core values in a time of upheaval and change. I want this House, our membership, and our TMA staff to know that your Board of Trustees has undertaken a diligent and purposeful process to find a new EVP who will listen, who will appreciate that culture of service to the patients and physicians of Texas. We will not ask our new exec to replace Dr. Goodman. There's no replacing Lou, but rather to stand on the shoulders of our gentle giant and lift our Texas Medical Association to new heights. Specifically to our staff, I want you to know that the physicians of Texas have your back. We will support you through this transition just as you supported us in the many changes we face. It is because we know that our core values are timeless and unchanging, uncompromising and unconflicted regard for our patients' benefit and best interest. It is because at the same time, we know that change is necessary and what really matters is how we respond to change. This is why our Texas Medical Association not only stands as the biggest and the best, but will remain so for years to come. God bless our Texas Medical Association. God bless our Texas physicians. God bless our patients. Thank you.